Well, tomorrow is Election Day in the Sooner State with plenty on southern Oklahoma ballots.
That's right. KXIA 12's Mia Medellin breaks down what's at stake.
Voters in southern Oklahoma will decide the fate of school bond proposals in 3 districts Tuesday. In Pontotoc County, Rolfe Public Schools is asking voters to approve a $7.4 million bond package. It would fund construction of a new elementary building, as well as lighting upgrades for the baseball and softball fields. In Love County, Marietta Public Schools is seeking voters to say yes to a nearly $4 million bond proposal. It would pay for a new baseball facility and new artificial turf for the football field. And in Bryan County, Colbert Public Schools is asking voters to approve $560,000 in bonds for security upgrades and new buses. District leaders say none of these bond proposals would raise property taxes if approved. In Johnson County, voters will decide whether to renew a penny sales tax for another 5 years. It funds emergency and community services, as well as general county government. Voters in Ada, Durant, and Hugo will elect new city council members Tuesday. And voters in the Silo and Wilson school districts will each elect new school board members. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday. Use the OK Voter portal on the Oklahoma State Election Board website to find your polling place. We'll have all the results Tuesday night on KXI 12 News at 10, as well as the free KXI 12 News app. Reporting Mia Medellin, KXI 12.